Welcome to Guzzlr.
Hello and welcome back to Guzzlr Podcast. This is episode 57?
Yeah.
Is it
It's episode 57, take 2.
Right.
Because Louis messed with the schedule.
Surely it's mine's 57 take 1, yours is 57 take 2.
Yeah, we've already recorded mine.
They ain't going to know that, are they?
No.
Only when you told them.
Yeah.
That's your own fault.
Yeah.
Today,
We're
talking about politics today.
I don't want to
Politics
talk
today.
today.
Well, politics recently.
So, this is next time next week, so this is just weeks to weeks
It's very
behind.
topical podcast.
Yeah,
We're a
but
week behind
things
exactly.
change quick though.
They do.
That's why I want quick.
Everything I've got written down here happened today.
Yeah, but it's coming out next
so-
Wednesday, so we're going to get it out that quick.
So the first thing I'm going to...
Yeah, but you don't have
I've
to
got a
talk
lot-
quick
I've-
to
I've-
get it out.
I've got,
you don't
I've
have to
got I've got a lot to talk about.
get ahead of the trend, Deck. Go on, Deck. Go on.
First... You going to be good? First...
Guzzlr Podcast.
Can I say something really nice first, actually? Today, there's an historic go-ahead for the malaria vaccine.
There is.
There's
who
a what?
have just approved the first ever malaria vaccine.
No vaccine. So now, lots of... BBC News says lots of... we're going to protect Africa's children now. What about the adults? Yeah. Anyway, that was really nice. I thought it was really nice to start.
It was.
Well, what we learned from my episode next week,
Yeah.
that they can hold the children down and give them the jabs.
That's true,
They can't
actually.
do that with adults.
Yeah, that's very good point. Very good point.
So first, I want to talk about.
Second. Because we've
I
already
feel
covered
so
my
bad
point.
for Dick. Why
We've
is episode
already
always so
covered my
derailed?
point, so
Carry
second.
on.
I want to talk about Texas first.
Yeah.
Do we know what happened in Texas?
Texas
Not the
Hold'em.
band. Oh,
Texas Hold'em.
not the band Texas.
Hold 'em up, boys!
Not the band Texas.
The state.
Hang on. There was a abortion thing.
There was an abortion thing. Very good.
Yes.
I thought that was in Exeter.
You know they're nowhere near each other.
You're not
I was
allowed to
just
speak
checking.
for the next
In
2 minutes.
Exeter, they've got.
I'm putting you
they've
in
got
the sin bin.
They've got the anti-abortion.
Yes.
Oh, yes,
and
that's
we
a
will
different
get onto
thing,
that.
yeah,
That
yeah.
happens after this.
Excellent.
That's a different news.
Okay. So Texas has just recently voted to take abortions away, banning
I
abortions.
didn't know that, really.
Did you not know that?
I didn't know.
Yeah, it's everywhere, mate.
I didn't know very
Yeah.
much.
Everywhere. All over the gram.
I feel like an
Hashtag.
abortion.
No abortions for the Texans.
I
It's
feel
not
like
a real hashtag.
I feel like an abortion debate should come in your euthanasia one.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I do
Yeah?
agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm buzzing.
Okay. Okay.
Just to clarify, I'm for abortion. I'll say that much now.
Yeah.
You encourage it.
Yeah.
Just constantly.
Only for women above a certain age, though.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wish some people would have had an abortion with the people I've met recently. So, second, massive in Britain at the minute.
Oh, that was done. That was done.
Big nasty?
Yeah, it's
No?
Why
That's the
is it
first big
always-
person I could think of.
Genuinely, like, I thought you were going to tell me about Texas. So I don't know what the point.
They banned abortion.
They banned
They've
abortion.
banned abortions. It's a big thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
We
I thought-
came to the
it was that big, I thought
consensus
you were
How,
going to talk to-
how a lot of the countries are moving forward,
Yeah,
and
that
they've
was
just gone.
gone.
They said we're gonna
"Oh!"
have we will have a
Yeah,
full
yeah,
talk
fine.
on abortion
But
coming
it's
up.
a very good point, isn't it? About the fact that, like, yeah, everyone else is going forward, and that's.
And they've just gone, "Oi, hold on,
Yeah, but it's very American.
boop, boop.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
Let's put this in reverse."
that is mad.
Feels
yeah.
very American.
It is very American.
Yeah.
You know, it's because they're religious in Texas.
Yeah. Maybe you can fix it with the power of prayer.
Yeah.
Coming
You'll
next
get that
week.
reference next week. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, in the UK, massive at the minute. Don't say big nasty. We
What
have
else is massive in the UK?
we have
James
a-
Bond.
we have a petrol and diesel shortage.
Oh yeah. Not in my house, mate. I've got tanks full.
It's the easy reason we've got a shortage.
God, I've got loads
Yeah.
of them, mate.
So very recently,
Still
the,
going out of date.
the media reported that we haven't got enough lorry drivers to deliver fuel to some petrol stations.
I sent a letter to them and I offered, and they didn't get back to me.
And I'm just.
I
gonna
said
ignore
no.
it.
I just
Shut
said
up.
a couple learner plates. Just stick someone's granddad next to me.
Yeah. You go.
I'll do it. I'll take all the petrol wherever you want to go. Do you know what I mean?
Listen,
I don't know what
no,
the-
can't.
Or I'll spill some oil down the M25 and then no one will need petrol anyway.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a
Stop
win-win.
those people laying on it as well.
Win-win, isn't it? Yeah, exactly.
Shut up.
It's a win-win, isn't it?
So the now I've lost my train of thought. Haven't I? So the shortage only really affected BP and Texaco, and in response to this, the British public have, naturally, for some logical reason, drained every single fuel station across the entire country of petrol and diesel. How are you feeling about it?
Genuinely.
I've got a couple of points in this.
I actually have some actual points
Yeah.
on this.
No, so I'm just like, so...
I didn't mean as opposed to you. As opposed to how silly I've been.
So I can't remember what I was going to say. You start.
I was going to say the conspiracy theory. Seen the conspiracy theory about fuel?
Mm.
One of my favourite conspiracy theories of all time.
The thing on Facebook went around and said, the government have done it because we didn't buy enough fuel
because of lockdown. Yep.
Because of the COVID. And this has meant that fuel has gone off. And in response, the government have told the media that we're running short of fuel, so everyone goes and buys it up, and the fuel won't get out of date, so they can't sell it.
But that's ignoring the fact that the government have said, don't buy fuel.
Yeah.
That's their exact words.
Yeah.
There's no shortage. Do not panic, buy fuel. So people now believe that the government are the government are double bluffing us. Is what they believe now.
Yeah.
They've gone so far up their own conspiratorial arsehole, that's a word, that they now think the government are double bluffing them. What they've done, basically, they've believed the bullshit, they've convinced themselves to panic buy, then they've realised, oh shit, I probably shouldn't have done that. The government made me do it. So they've managed to believe two conspiracies.
Yeah.
They're doing a reverse card themselves.
And the second point is fuel doesn't go off.
It does, but very, very, it takes a long time. And you can
long time.
refine fuel. You can, if it's gone off, you can make it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
you
just
can
sediment.
sort it out.
So
the only fuel that could possibly go off would be one at petrol stations, not ones where they get fuel from, because they can just make it fuel again.
Yeah.
Because the fuel, literally, is millions of years old.
Yeah, it's made of just dinosaurs.
Literally millions of years old. So yeah, they could sort it out.
The things that I like about it, there's a pub in town, it's got a sign outside the front that literally says there's a beer shortage.
Buy beer.
Like that. And also I saw one that said the government should tell people there's a job shortage so people get off their asses and get a job.
Oh, that's quite good.
I like that as well.
But even though the employment rate's quite high at the minute.
Yeah, but it's just that British thing in it that people don't work, they need to go get a job. I like that. But I think that it's just mad. Did you manage to get fuel? Or did you need any time?
So it's quite good because I had to take my girlfriend to Norwich, so she go back to uni. Not last Friday, but the Friday before. So this would have been 3 weeks ago when this comes out. And the Friday morning was the day that the media reported that.
I got fuel that morning. I had no issue because it was that morning.
Yeah. And I'd gone at about 7 o'clock in the morning, so I needed to get to uni that day. So I'd filled it right to full, and then I got home. I was walking to uni, and Sky News fuel shortage in the UK, and I was like, well, me though, was it?
I got fueled about 12 o'clock that day.
Yeah,
there was no issues at all. And then that night, everyone's
mental.
Yeah.
My thing is I used to get mine on a Thursday, but I didn't the week before. So I was on, and I'm not even joking, so I ran my car real low down, so I was on about 35 miles left, which isn't 35 miles, it's usually about
50.
8. Yeah. I know, I'd say it's
on your
less
car,
than, yeah.
On mine it's about 50.
So I didn't fit on the Thursday, so I don't know why. Didn't on the Friday. The weekend I didn't really go out, so I didn't bother. I got to the Monday, or the Sunday night, went into a petrol station to get a bottle of wine, and they closed the pumps, turned the lights off. They were like, "Yeah, we ain't gonna get any until Wednesday morning." We was going to Peterborough, which is 15 miles away. Yeah, 15 miles away maybe. And I thought, well, I'm not gonna get Peterborough. I thought that was on the Wednesday, and I thought I'm not gonna.
You
I'm
said
not
to me,
gonna
"I
get
get a
there."
train."
Yeah, I was like, I'm just not gonna get there. Monday, nothing. Police were stopping people down BP, even going in because it was causing such a traffic jam and stuff like that. It was absolutely mad. Luckily on the Tuesday morning I left really early to go to a garage, and there was some. But even now there's certain places around our hometown which hasn't got fuel now, even now.
I like how easy everybody falls into the trap of panic buying as well. Because my mum said to my sister, everyone's going to panic buy, make sure you fill up your car. Yeah. Well, you're just panic buying now.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's that easy to slip into
during lockdown, when it was like all the toilet rolls are flocking for shelves, well, everyone went to get toilet roll because they are flocking.
But so many of those people, I guarantee, would go on the internet and slag off panic buys because they don't feel like they're panic buyers.
No.
They feel like they're having to do it because of panic buyers.
Yeah.
But then they're all panic buyers. They're all just panic buyers.
And the government also said last week...
It's just a different internalised logic.
Yeah,
I would like to know what percentage of people actually thought I'm panic buying. Because I bet it was like none.
Exactly.
No one thought
No.
I'm a panic buyer.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of things last week was like the government saying only get fuel when you need to fill up. I wonder how many people actually need to fill up, or how many people are buying fuel to panic buy. There's a lot of people in these queues, their interview going like, I'm late to work, or ambulances that got taken off the road because they couldn't get fuel.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people, and people going, there should be a minimum amount of money you should spend. Some garages are doing you can't spend more than 30 quid. Well, 30 quid will last me about 7 weeks. Like, that's a lot for me to put in my car. So usually I put in a tenner, so it lasts me like 10 days.
30 quid would barely fill half my tank these days.
Yeah, but like, because I don't work away anymore, do I? I work in the town, so like, I don't. I drive a mile and a half to work every day. That's as far as I go now. So like, it seems weird to think that. What's my point?
I think your brain just glitched.
Error 404.
Proper went silent for a bit there.
I find it weird that I don't know what I was going to say. Oh yeah, so they were saying minimum money, but then we were going maximum because they don't need to overbuy, so people have got to spend £10. It's weird how certain garages were just going, like demanding, oh, you can't spend any less than that, or you can't spend more than that.
But it does make sense though.
Really, what they should have had was stewards that sit outside, and when you draw up to the pump, you roll your window down,
and they
you
see
have
how
a
much
look
food
out,
you've got.
and
I
then
thought that.
if you've got half a tank or more, crack on.
I'd say if you've got, well, it depends where you're going.
People
True,
commute for work, don't they? And they need half a tank.
But I'd say, unless you're going far, half a tank's far too. The last time my car was on half a tank, it was years ago. I'm not even joking. Last time I went down to Southampton or up to York in May, it might have been in August. It might have been at half a tank. I never went down to half a tank. Never went down to half a tank. It's usually recently.
I fill it to full and then it run down to empty. And
recently the light has gone off to say it's actually empty. Like, I just let it go down to nothing.
I filled up my car once, I can't drive, so I can't really weigh in. My last thing to say on the fuel thing is how quickly it changed. Brexit, and all of a sudden, maybe we should get in some Europeans to drive some lorries.
That was brilliant, wasn't it?
And
actually,
amazing.
The worst thing was that they were extending people's visas, working visas, for Europeans to come over and work as lorry drivers, but the visas ended on Christmas Eve.
I love the.
I just thought, imagine that. Get them over here, lovely, but on Christmas Day, you could get out.
I love the memes that
Season of giving.
because it was like a lorry driver isn't just for Christmas, it's for life.
Yeah.
And then one was the Shamima Begum ITV headline, and someone had commented on Facebook saying, "Can she drive a lorry?"
Yeah, I saw that.
There was just some real goalies come out of it. But yeah, if you're one of the people that went and sort of panic buy, and you look back and you think, "Oh, I did panic buy." You're not allowed to drive. I'm going to come break your legs.
Just do. I would say just do better next time. But you know, break their legs. You know, same difference.
Can I quickly say a quick
You can interject, yes. Yeah.
It's off of petrol though, is that right?
It depends what it is.
We're not going to know until he said it, and at that point he said it. Do you know what I mean?
It's just like, have you got anything else on petrol?
No.
Okay, so it's just a break up one quickly. Right. It's announced today that Kylie is actually moving back to Australia, Kylie Minogue, which is quite sad.
What was that got to do with petrol?
I said it wasn't anything to do with petrol. So this is my next.
Yeah, but
What's it got to do with politics?
Yeah, but
I was using on that news just today.
It was a political episode.
Okay, well I'm just going to interject.
I was confused why you said to him, "Do you have any more points on petrol?" Because I thought you were going to add another point on petrol, and then you went, "Kylie Minogue's moving back to Australia."
Can we move back on to the point?
Is that news?
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about that in your next episode, which is on celebrities?
No, I just want to talk about it now. It's quite important. You don't want to?
No, because I want to talk about why I should care about that news, which I think is a good conversation.
Go on, just carry on. No, you move on.
You get what I'm saying, though?
No, just move on.
Do you get what I'm saying? Though? You get what I'm saying?
That's a good conversation. All of this is just about Kylie.
Not again. Oh, he keeps doing this every week.
All of this.
Every week we go, Louis, whatever you got about Kylie, cross it out, and you go. What I'm saying is, in your episode, we can talk about why I should give a shit about where Kylie Minogue's moving. Right, Declan, please carry on.
Oh God! My next point is the cervix debate.
I thought I've actually upset him.
You know he's got cervix.
What cervix debate?
Was it Dominic Raab came out and said to be a woman, you have to have a
see
cervix.
this. Yes, I
Was it
saw
Dominic?
this.
Oh, so I saw that he
was.
said
It
some
was-
misogynistic things, but
No,
I
that's a
couldn't
different
find
thing.
it.
No, it's a different thing.
That's a different thing.
He's had a good week.
he's had a roll.
He's had a good
Was
week.
it Dominic Raab?
It was someone like Dominic Raab.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Or it was Sajid David. He's had a good week and all.
It was one of them. Yeah.
He's come out and
One
said,
of Boris's cronies.
Yeah, he was in an interview with one of the media companies, and he's gone. Only women can only the people with a cervix. You have to have a cervix to be a woman, and it's really thrown up this massive debate within the transgender and transsexual community, saying, "But all women are women," and it's really gone to pot for him. He's really had a corker of a week. Because he spit shit out of his mouth and then expects
all women
He's wrong.
Yeah,
It's easy to solve, isn't it? You can have women that don't have cervixes.
hysterectomies.
Some women have to have their cervixes removed.
Yeah, but
they're still women.
Yeah, I know, but you say it's quite easy to solve. So I said, give all women cervix.
Give them all one.
Give them
like
all
as a package.
Yeah.
Like you are because then you're now as a man going. You're now a woman. You are now. So, this is going to sound. You are now a whole, complete woman. Before this,
yeah,
I don't know what you were, mate. You were a woman.
So you're saying we don't give women cervix?
Now you're a real woman now.
You don't get cervix in a box.
You can't give a woman a cervix.
Just to clarify, this is all.
No, to clarify, I also know you don't give women cervix. I'm not that silly. Right, so locomotion first got to number one in 1987. Are we done with him?
How much do you think the cervix is worth?
Oh, okay, to sell a cervix online?
Yeah.
I'd say...
But you can't use them when they've been ripped out.
Food? Nutrients and such? I don't know how to eat. Yeah, fair enough.
So,
he's got a good point, actually.
Yeah,
you can't just like...
You can't give women a cervix.
Anyway, just to clarify, on the transgender point, yeah.
All women are women.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And but you would think that someone. I've already digged myself a hole here. Not even about transgender.
No, please.
Mine isn't actually about transgender. Mine's the fact I was going to say.
We'll get your JCB.
That you'd think that someone as intelligent as Dominic Raab, but I'm also thinking
as
he's not that. Yeah, he's
not.
But you think someone like the height in the country is quite intelligent. You'd think that in the year that it is. He wouldn't be saying things like that.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
I've got a corker of a quote later.
It's a good one, yeah. Good one.
Yeah, go on. Can I interject quickly?
Yep. Unless it's about Kylie.
Oh, fair enough, you go.
Do you actually want to say something of substance?
No, I haven't, no. I've written about the things I want to talk about Kylie Maple.
You haven't.
You're not talking about Kylie Minogue. Have you got a point of substance? Or
how old's Kylie Minogue?
She was born on the 12th of February 1962 to a young family in Australia. Do you want to carry on?
Is Kylie Minogue 59 years old?
I don't know how old I said she was. I don't know how old she is. I haven't written anything else about Kylie Minogue, just to clarify.
I'm confused with the actual point.
No, I have. She's got a good point. It was the fact that on Good Morning Britain this morning, it said about how fishermen have said that they're going to stop sending fish to the UK towards Christmas, basically just in protest of like not getting certain fishing laws because of Brexit. And they said they will literally make a blockade around Britain to make sure fish can't get to Britain. As in fish that's being boxed up and sent to Britain, not just like stopping fish just getting through to like our waters.
He was 6 years out. She was born in 1968.
Oh, okay,
right. Carry on, please, Declan.
But no, that's pretty amazing. Like the fishermen actually.
Yeah, but I believe it when I see it.
It's quite. Yeah, but it's just quite.
They haven't done it yet, have they?
No.
They might just be all talk. Do you know what I mean?
The Brexit is just like.
Also, how many fishermen did they ask?
2.
Yeah,
he wasn't even on a boat.
Fishermen say.
He was just like he was down by the river.
He
was actually. I actually asked him. I went up to him and went, "Excuse me, what do you think of the Kylie Minogue situation?" And he was like, "I think I'm going to block all fishers from getting up in the water."
That's not a fisherman though.
So you went up to some random guy with a rod at like the River Nene.
Yeah.
And you went, "You going to send money to the UK?" He went, "Piss off."
No, it's not good one, but this is true fact. Well, anyway, go on. You'll go.
So we had the big conferences this week.
Yeah.
We had the Labour conference last week.
It was the Labour conference.
And we've just recently finished the Conservative conference.
I haven't finished it yet. No spoilers.
Do you know what happened?
Just to clarify.
Uh,
I'm going to binge it next week.
The Labour conference covered 8 main topics.
I do know. I saw some of the conference.
First was climate. They've said that they want to invest £28 billion in green jobs. Just going to paint people green, I assume, and send them into factories.
What Johnson said the other week about climate change is this, when he actually quoted Kermit the Frog. He said,
I did see that.
He said, it's not easy being green. He said, in the words of Kermit the Frog, it's not easy being green. While in a climate conference.
More. And then they said they're going to invest £3 billion in green steel. So they want to renationalise the steelworks that they sold off to China and make it green. Don't know how they're going to do that, it's quarrying.
Paint it.
Then they cover the economy, and they said they're going to scrap business rates, so people who earn less will pay less tax, and they're going to really highly tax the big businesses. And then they went on to talk about housing, and they're going to prioritise local buyers instead of like foreign companies and things buying housing and stuff like that. And then they went on to education, and they're going to remove the charitable status from private schools, so they pay tax. And they're going to make work experience compulsory.
The thing is, I think the work experience is a good thing. The thing is about private schools, though, this is something that I don't necessarily agree with. And that's a private school. We can make a private school. We have to go through some like auditions isn't the right word. To go through some like heats, I suppose, to make a private school. But the private school means that we can have 10 children because we think that we're going to take them out of a local secondary school, make our own secondary school because it'd be better for them and we do better lessons and stuff like that. But the private bit comes because if it's just a homeschool, we don't get paid. Private school means that we're getting paid so we can do it as our day job, which would mean that us three are teaching 10 children in our house, for example, and then we've still got to pay tax and high taxes because we're a private school.
But you don't have to pay high tax because it's charitable.
Oh, is that what it
charitable
means,
status, yeah. They want them to pay more tax, so they're going to remove the charitable status from them.
I don't know what you mean.
Private schools have charitable status.
At the moment,
so they don't pay tax.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So us three running a private school with 10 students, we've got to pay a high tax then because they'd remove it.
If they removed it.
Oh,
yeah. And
right.
my point is...
I thought you were like, we'll pay high tax now. And I'm like, I've just told you
it'd be scalable though.
Yeah, but my point is that this isn't
we wouldn't pay much tax.
This isn't a private school where they're like, all the boarding schools, like they're doing like
if we're taking...
private schools have to make profit, right? That's what the real private...
But if we were taking funds from these 10 kids, like a lot, like 30 grand a year or something mental, like some of these schools or whatever, you don't think we should pay tax, or a lot of tax? You think we should just get that?
But I'm going on the fact that we're just 3 parents who are doing it for like 10 kids. And I assume you wouldn't pay 30 grand. It would just be enough to make sure that...
I think education for profit and for a greater quality of education is wrong anyway, fundamentally. So
I just think if they pay you... Because it happens, and I know people that do it, where they pay you just to make sure you can get books and take on school trips and pay for their lunchtime food...
I don't know if that counts as a private school.
No, it's because you have to apply for private school for the parents to get paid.
But I think it'd be very easy. I don't know specifically what their legislation is or what they're proposing, but I think it'd be very easy to put a clause in there where very small things like that. Yeah.
So I'm not about like
because if you're talking, as I say, if you're talking about like Kings or something that genuinely charge like £30,000 a year, they should pay a lot of money.
Yeah, fine. But that's what I'm on about the clause.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You're saying there should be some sort of distinction between the two. I'm sure there would be. I'm sure that you're not going to be penalised for that.
So. The last thing they said about education is they're going to teach kids about pensions, mortgages and contracts.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think about
that? I don't really care.
I think
no?
I think so.
I have this conversation with a lot of people.
I've recently came into a situation where that sort of education could have helped.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I think if you don't have it, you're at risk of being...
Interestingly, when I was in my old school,
blindsided.
I had conversations with kids going, "What's the mortgage stuff like?" And I literally was like, "Couldn't tell you, mate." But recently, I've had conversations where kids go, "What's this mean? What's this mean?" And I go, "Okay, we have a conversation about it." And I think that I wish I knew more about it when I was at school because I turned up to get a mortgage and I just didn't know words.
It may not necessarily mean anything, but it may
set someone up who actually
needs it.
But because
at school you're taught the fundamental principles that help you understand the mortgage later on in life anyway. because you taught maths and English.
Yeah,
You can read what mortgages are, you can understand it, you can get it from a sort of
But
conceptual idea.
But the information presented in a mortgage agreement isn't necessarily accessible. You don't read of mice and men, then go, oh!
But I don't
I
disagree.
can understand that.
And I also, like I said last week, my last episode, I said I think we should learn more about laws and we should learn about our rights and all of that sort of stuff.
The idea is that it might leave an impact on 2 people in a class of 30, but really, if you look at what you learn about in history, like the Wall Street crash, it probably only left an impact on 2
I
people.
think
anyway.
what annoys me about it isn't the conversation of should we have mortgages and stuff, it's when people are like, why do we learn maths and science? Why do we learn this rubbish?
Why don't we learn
when we could learn
instead?
how to change a tyre and we could learn... I think there's a place for all of this on the syllabus.
Add it into a
So,
quite...
and
a lot of schools now do...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Syllabus.
Diversified.
A lot of schools
Yeah.
do life skills now instead of PSHE, but the life skills isn't life skills.
It's just PSHE.
It's
with
just
a different
PSHE.
name.
This is the thing, there was already quite a lot of fluff at school that I do think was unnecessary in that. But again, a lot of this conversation does come from why do I learn Pythagoras' theorem when I could just learn about this
But
and that?
it's always the dumb ones that haven't really got anywhere, and they think they should have learned skills that they wish they knew now, but didn't bother to go and learn after school, but didn't learn anything in school
I agree,
either.
but I think if those people just put more effort into learning maths and English, they'd understand what mortgage is quite easy, they'd pick it up easier.
I wish I learned
That's my perspective.
how to change a car tyre when I was at school. I do wish that.
But
When my car broke down and I was told by someone I'd changed the tyre, I didn't know there was a clip that you put the jack onto when you changed the tyre. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
no, like I said, I do think there's ways to add this sort of stuff to syllabus.
Yeah.
There's so much
I think
random
it should
stuff
be
you
added.
can
someone
get rid of
done it
RE, for instance.
When someone done it for me, and the car lifted up, and I went, oh, I didn't know you put on that clip. They went, if you didn't, your car would fall over. Well, thank God they turned up in time, because if not, my car would be laying on the side when they turned up.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And then they talked about health, and Labour has really been pushing health and the NHS for the past 20 years and saying that the Tories are trying to privatise it, which they are. But they've said that they want to make a national care service in the image of the NHS. So they want to create something that's like the NHS for old people that's not the NHS.
Why?
Seems like a waste of money to me. And then they went on to a bit about crime, and they want to create a state pro bono scheme.
Is care not provided by the NHS for the elderly?
Yeah, but they want more.
I mean,
Would it be like autonomous? Would it function under its own?
Yeah.
I guess it's not a terrible idea.
But it's still another load of bureaucracy, and the main money hemorrhaging that comes from the NHS isn't like people running off it for no reason or scroungers. It's all of the bureaucracy and red tape that the NHS has to go through, and the way it's structured is where they lose the most money.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it really depends on the finer details. You can't judge it immediately.
now we're back together. I wanna show.
We should talk about Kylie.
I'm really sounds bad.
No, but it's in the idea of why we care about celebrity lifestyles.
Okay.
So they went on to talk about crime, and they want to introduce a state pro bono system. So all law firms have to provide some sort of, or like criminal law firms have to provide some sort of state pro bono work.
Okay.
And then they went on to, of course, talk about the very topical crimes against women and the Sarah Everard case, and the recently the young girl that was murdered. Again, the teacher.
Yeah.
And then they've said that they want to.
I like the way you worded that.
They want to reintroduce.
Murdered again. Like she already murdered once.
They want to reintroduce neighbourhood policing and police on the beat.
Can I be a neighbourhood police?
Is that a thing?
So we get a jacket.
Probably if you got a little bit fitter.
Have you seen the police?
Yeah.
Famously, I'd say I'm just about the right size.
And then they talked about what they're going to do in terms of foreign politics, and they've said that they want to send troops out less, but they want to use the British Army and the British forces to teach armies in troubled lands like Afghanistan, a bit like what America have been doing for the past 20 years in teaching the Afghan forces. Clearly didn't work.
You taking the piss? Famously went really badly.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is they actually said that.
Yeah.
With a straight face.
Yeah.
Honestly, so far through this list, I've been going, yeah, no, it's reasonable. We want to do what America did, which famously went badly about a month ago. Genius.
And then they finally talked about devolution, and they said that they're going to give councils more power. So, all in all, how do you think the Labour...
Like Niall going to have more power.
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to tell me where to park?
No.
So what gives them power?
It's just going to be
Niall can tell you when your children die or not.
It'll be
it's up to Niall.
It'll be less centralised power, so the government won't have as much say in local debates and
okay, it makes sense.
And then past few days.
So wait. You said what do you think about that?
Leaning towards a more sort of like America.
Yeah, kind of.
But they have people that run the state, and the state have more power.
However,
obviously not quite at all. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did they offer solutions, or did they offer dreams?
No, these were solutions.
But did they say how we're going to get there?
These are things that they could do.
Yeah, okay. But it's always things that they can do. They won't necessarily.
No one would believe it. Like the last Labour manifesto was funded. Like they'd done all the funding. They knew where the money was coming from, and still people didn't vote because they were like, we ain't got magic money, tree.
Yeah.
Like, well, we've done the maths is here. We have the
famous economists.
Here's where the money's coming from, and they go, we ain't got a money tree, though.
What I like is, I don't actually want this to be fair because I don't like him, but I think it'd be really great one day if they stand to the conference and went, you know what, Boris is alright, isn't he? Yeah, everyone's like, I wasn't expecting that, and then you said, yeah, he wasn't bad. You know, I agree with half his stuff.
If you look under your seat, everyone has a ticket to the Conservative conference next week.
No,
we're all going to go. We're all going to get hats. We've got them
said,
big gloves. Conservative number one.
If they said, you know, actually right, 50% of the stuff's alright, but it's going to improve some of it. I reckon people will go.
Because you were saying, so your political tactic would be like the breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, some of the things are alright.
Yeah.
But to be fair to Boris, I don't say that.
When you're already in, this second term, you do that. Because you're in then.
He spends a lot of money for a Conservative.
He does.
He spends a lot of money.
He spends it all to his friends.
Listen, I'm not saying...
his living room.
Alright, Boris.
You saw his tax in his living room, great.
And
he's reached into the British pocket. I really appreciate
and
that.
what the £3 million briefing room? That was a nice spend.
Yeah.
And then the
Can I hire it out?
No.
Then I'll let him off.
the Tories have just had theirs, and it had to get pushed back. It was meant to be the same time as the Labour conference, but there were massive protests outside the Tory, as there should be. There was a lot of eggs thrown.
Sort of eggs. Quail.
Ostrich.
Oh, we went different
Massive
routes then, didn't we?
Someone got arrested for they had like a pretty fascist sign or a Nazi pretty sign. He's now been arrested.
Why? For that?
It was a little car. It was literally the size of like that, and it just had Nazi pretty on it, and he held it in front of the door, and that was it. And he just got arrested.
Nazis. Creeptail's
a Nazi.
Probably the most disgusting human being on. I hate Creeptail.
Yeah, she is not a good human. So it was pushed back to the end of this week. It was meant to be the start. Then Therese Coffey sang the Time of My Life.
Who did?
Therese Coffey. She's one of the Tory MPs.
Right.
In the midst of the fuel crisis, and
did she then lift Boris up like
no. But he did make a nice remark to Michael Gove, calling him Michael Bongovi.
To be fair, that's nice.
Did he actually do that?
He did. Yeah.
Wait, hang on. Vote Tory. Hang on.
Bongovi, yeah.
Yeah, so she sang that in the light of, the fuel crisis and the national insurance uprising and, taking
Yeah, they did the national insurance. I don't know be that. She's not really just
taking people's universal credit away.
They did that.
Can I also say in here that overnight gas prices went up by 42%?
They did. I'm going to get to that.
Right, fine.
Yeah. And then Boris went on to talk about finally define what levelling up meant when he famously said, we're going to level up. And then everyone went, what? Yeah. And he went, we're going to level up. And they went, yeah, but what do you mean? He went, we're levelling up.
Well, I heard this morning was Gary Neville was on Good Morning Britain talking about the idea of levelling up. And Edwina Curry was on there. And just before he got cut off. He went, Edwina, go and get a job, and then left. And I thought it was great. And
he did tear a new house.
So how are we leveling up then?
He didn't. It was very vague.
Oh,
no
so
way.
you just said that he clarified, but he was still quite.
No, he defined what he meant by levelling up, but he didn't say what it meant for the country.
Okay.
Right. So what did he mean?
So he just said that we're going to get tougher on crime. We're going to do better. We're going to have better international deals. And there was some other shit, but he was basically being very vague. And he went, "Yeah, we're going to get better at this. We're going to not get so good at this."
This is what I was talking about next episode, isn't it?
Yeah. I
Weird
fact checked
sentence.
some of his things that he said.
Where? Here?
What do you mean?
Some of the things he said at the
Yes.
conference, or in
Right.
And it was just funny, some of the things he said. We've got the fastest growth out of all the G7 countries.
I saw that on the news today.
Well, he said, technically true, it grew 4.8% between April and June. But because of how dramatically we fell in the last year, it's like, it's got the fastest growth, but we're dramatically lower. So it makes it sound really good, but actually we're still miles
We still
below.
Yeah,
It's just that 4.8% has gone quicker than other countries.
One of the women said we're the fastest growing country in the world at the minute, and but we started rock bottom, right? They're already at the top of the cliff, mate.
Basically, it is, He's promised 48 new. Oh no, there's 48 new hospitals.
Brilliant.
So you wait.
Where's he gonna? Didn't he promise that?
They got
last time? Yeah, he did.
And he made 6.
That's
and
it. Yeah, there's 6
4
new
of them
ones.
were fake.
And do they have expensive parking?
Yes.
Good. To the mass.
6 new. 5 stopped when Carillion went bust.
Yeah.
Which they've been trying to be built for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's just continuing. And actually, some of them are just have refurbishments. And the other 11. No, there's 11. So the other 37 of them. No one knows where they've come from.
No,
just no idea at all.
But he said that in the last
he did,
election, and then they didn't have
nothing.
No.
But my favourite one. It's absolutely my favourite one. He says we've done 68 free trade deals. And everyone, blimey, that's really good. After the back of Brexit, 68 free trade deals. That's amazing.
Majority of European countries, I assume.
Now it wasn't 68 free trade deals. It was 1 free trade deal with 68 countries, which is the first thing ridiculous. But also, they're deals that have rolled over pre-Brexit. They're not new deals. They just rolled over because of Brexit. They're now a new deal. They basically went to him and went, "Do you mind if we just carry on what we've done before?" And they went, "Yeah, sure thing, yeah."
Yeah.
So
but
they're not
it saves
deals.
them money.
Yeah, so they're not
to not cancel it or amend.
What a legend. Big fan.
Yeah, he vows to get done with rebuilding the UK. It's a shame that he was the one who destroyed it though in the first place.
Because I think the slogan on his plinth was build back or build better or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's Bill Better, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I like.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
He put an emphasis on us putting a lot of effort into like high technical roles as a country, right? We're going to put a big emphasis on these high technical roles. We're going to get people with qualifications, and he knows he's doing this in the middle of a crisis where we don't have lorry drivers.
That's
it feels very like,
and I'm gonna.
It feels so unaware of them in the middle of a crisis to be like, we're going to focus on these really high end. Don't worry about that. We need jobs to cover the whole country, Morris. We need to make sure the is functioning.
Well, that was something that we never actually spoke about during lockdown when he was like a picture of a ballet dancer, and he was like, retrain them. Don't need
is that
them.
classic Tory
She's
thing?
She's a makeup artist. We don't need them.
Is that classic Tory thing of not respecting any jobs that aren't like below a degree level, or even just not seen as like until they have to, until they're forced to respect them and hire them and put effort into it.
When he used to do his PowerPoint stuff every day, so basically. Went through and was like, that job, literally everything, took all apart and went, Boris isn't actually one of those jobs.
That arts thing was a massive uproar. There was a whole advert about like arts people not being able to get work during the pandemic, and the whole thing was retraining, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like, she's ballerina. Yeah. She can't do that. She can retrain as this. And it's like, it's not the solution we want, Boris.
She can retrain as a civil engineer.
Yeah.
Can she?
That's not the solution we want, Boris. We want the arts back.
Boris, when you're going, I could go and watch a show, but
exactly. People want the arts. People like the arts.
Yeah, it's a big part of Britain.
Yeah, exactly.
They also went on to talk about women's safety, and Preeti Patel has promised an inquiry into the Met Police. Today, one of the Met Police officers come out and said, specifically said, an eyewitness account. When I was a police officer, I was partnered up with a man, and I had to wait in the car while he was having sex with someone on job that we'd gone to interview previously. I knew she was vulnerable. There are her exact words. She said, "Misogyny and sexism and endangerment to women are deeply rooted within the Met Police. No matter what Preeti Patel does, it will not fix anything." So yeah, that you can just throw that out. And then Boris goes, "We're going to create a load of high-wage, high-skilled, low-tax jobs," which is brilliant, because if they take all the tax away, how are they going to educate the people to be highly skilled?
Do you think, sorry, this is controversial. Do you think if it was the other way around and a bloke said that he had to wait in the car while a woman went outside and had sex with a man who's there to interview, do you think we'd hear about it?
Yeah.
Do you think we would hear about it?
Yeah, I think you'd hear about it more.
Because it'd be in a far more negative way. Okay, fair enough, fine.
Yeah. And then they went on to insult the protesters some more over the M25 protests and things. They called them bumbling idiots or something like that. And they were saying how it was really bad that the emergency services couldn't get, ambulances couldn't get down the M25. And I sat there thinking, yeah, you're right, but you've also cut all the funding for ambulances, so we've got actually less ambulances on the road, and then
they can't get petrol.
So yeah.
So I think the thing with that is that we should just stop talking about those people on the M25 because they want to talk about them, right?
I actually do hate Insulate Britain. I'm going to throw that out there.
Oh, the Insulate
controversially,
Britain, yeah.
I actually don't like them.
Is that controversial?
Just to throw that out there. From a left perspective, yeah.
Mm.
The left very much believe that it's the right thing to do to block the M25.
That's just absolutely ridiculous. I think that's
no. I think it's a very small proportion of the left.
I don't think so. Not from what I've seen on Twitter. Everybody thinks it's fair enough.
The educated left.
I think it's
when people are driving off the road because they can't get to the hospital and stuff like that, and blocking ambulances.
I don't think you should. Yeah.
They took one bloke and arrested him, and they went, "You've blocked the ambulance." He went, "Couldn't care less."
Look, okay. Obviously, we've spoken about it before, I accept climate change is a massive, massive issue, and I think protesting is fine, I think it's fair enough, but I think there's such a moral, it's just morally vapid to be like, I don't care about lives now because people will die in the future. And they interviewed Insulate Britain on the news,
Britain, it was
and he was like, I think it might have been a different interview, it might have been the same guy, and he was like, yeah, but loads of people will die in the future, and the interview was like, yeah, but someone could die right now. You could be letting someone die this second. And he's like, yeah, but loads of people will die in the future. How is he so morally sure of himself?
They interviewed one of the leaders.
How?
And have you got insulation? You went...
Did really?
Yeah,
Boris
so what it sounds like is he just wants to cause trouble.
I will say there is a couple of things I like about Insulate Britain. I really like the fact, compared to Extinction Rebellion, that in their name they have very clearly what they think could help.
Yeah.
And they very clearly highlight the fact that insulation would be a massive help. I really like that. I think that's fantastic. Because Extinction Rebellion, one of my big issues with them was that they never said what to do.
They just say what the problem is.
They always just go, climate change is a big issue. And then they're like, what should we do? And they don't say anything.
We need to wake up.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, brilliant, I completely agree with you, Greta. So what's your big plan? What should we do? And she's like, wake up!
Yeah.
No, but Greta,
what you're talking?
Well, Insulate Britain,
well, wake up!
It's in their title, on their page, on everything. They have numbers, they have figures. They say why Britain should be insulated. I agree with that, but I also think it's morally wrong to allow people to die now.
Mm. Yeah.
There you go. That's my perspective.
Boris made a lovely quip about Insulate Britain. He said, "We're going to insulate them in a prison cell."
And
the whole conference, Boris has spent all of his opportunities to make jokes and sort of act like a comic on stage.
I'll clarify, I do still hate Boris more than I hate Insulate Britain. And he could just, I understand that what they're saying the second, because they said in the interview, the second the government say they're going to insulate houses and they put forward some that we'll get off the roads and these people can live and they can get to I get that, I do get it, and I grapple with it because I get what they're saying.
Yeah. Again,
and Boris is being a disgusting human being as well. I get it,
again, it's the same as
But I just couldn't stand there while a woman's crying in my face, saying she's trying to visit her mum in hospital, and being like, "Yeah, but morals."
Or an ambulance driver with a patient in the back get into hospital, and
you go,
"Not letting you buy."
No, not until Boris says, I don't know.
It's the same as with Extinction Rebellion. They've got the right message, but how they're telling the message is completely wrong.
Yeah,
and that's the reason a lot of the people ostracise them, because they say the right things, it just comes out in the wrong tone.
In order for you to think that's an effective scenario, right? In order for you to think it's effective to be on the M25, blocking people to get into hospital, you need to believe fundamentally that the Tories care about that woman getting to hospital, right? Or people getting to work. You have to believe that the Tories are going to sit there and go, people can't get to work. This woman's going to die. This woman can't visit her mum. The Tories don't care.
No.
They never have cared. I bet Insulate Britain know the Tories
they're
don't
not sitting,
care.
Yeah, they're not sitting around a table tonight going, we should really talk about Insulate Britain.
So they'll do something they know that isn't going to affect the Tories. It's just going to affect regular, hard-working people, or people that just want to get to hospital, people that just want to see their mums, and then be like, well, the Tories are going to listen eventually. No, they're not. No. They're never going to listen to
should we talk about Insulate Britain? Yeah, what should we insulate them? No, what I mean is we should just arrest the people who are talking about it. Oh, okay, yeah.
And what they end up,
that is true, actually.
What ends up happening is the Tories then leverage the fact that they've done something stupid for political gain and turn the protests. It was like what they did to the suffragettes, and they called them all mental because they were smashing windows and stuff, and they said they were heathens, and it's the same idea.
Women.
It's a good point, actually. I do genuinely believe in my heart that the government would see the footage of the woman crying and saying she wants to get to her mum and stuff, and just think, this is good for us. We can say Insulate Britain don't care about people going to hospital. Insulate Britain are terrible. This is brilliant for us.
Yeah.
We haven't got to insulate homes because now they look like the bad guy. Yeah. That's actually a really good point. Yeah.
Now, Sajid Javid, he's had a great week.
For the wrong reasons.
Yeah. There's a video that circulated, it went trending today, on him just shagging social care. And he was
That's not where I thought that was going. Sorry.
He's done a porno.
That really cool. Because quite recently we've had a politician who was for not shagging, but you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, the sequel to the Matt Hancock's like, no, he's shagging now.
He basically just scorned nationalised healthcare, and he said that we shouldn't have it anymore. You can go find that video. It's quite fun.
I'm less interested than I was 5 seconds
ago. He was recorded shagging the healthcare.
Next we have the universal credit cut, so we're away from the conference. What did you think of the Tory one?
The conference?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just if you word something right, people are going to believe you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just.
Do you think that's a consequence of being so secure in your power? Because, like, realistically, I fully believe Conservatives are going to win the next general election.
Yeah,
100%. So, from their perspective, why not just go have a sing-song?
Yeah.
Why not? If genuinely, why would they care? Yeah. Why would you even try to bring in effective policy? It doesn't matter, does it?
Are they trying? Or are they just thinking, we're up here?
Well, it doesn't look like it. But then maybe that's just because it's so bad we can't believe they're trying. I don't know anymore.
That Labour just feels like this hopeless, like they're
they're
bumbling because they're just like, we want to get to the top by the Conservatives. Like, that's what it feels like.
Well, there you go. Recently we've had the universal credit cut. So £20 a week has been taken away from families that need it.
People are saying like it's to heat or to eat.
Yeah.
The difference between that, I think, is absolutely ridiculous.
And
a lot of people saying, why bring it in just for winter?
Yeah.
Now,
this
when people need it.
It's been bloody cold.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be honest.
This brings up the recent hike in utility prices.
Yeah, 42% overnight they went up, which is insane.
Fantastic. Which is
horrendous.
Good,
insane.
Lovely.
Now, if you're someone with...
I'll be honest, so just get a new house, I got a letter through it today which said that I need to apply for gas, and I saw they went up 42% overnight, and I thought, well, I haven't got a boiler at the moment, so I'll just I just want to get it, because I literally thought, what's the point in paying extra 42%? Well, there's no point for me doing that at the moment. And I'm not in a position where I'm struggling to feed 3 kids.
No, just 4.
Just 4. I was just going to say, it's just 4 of them.
If you are someone who struggles with being able to afford
put on a coat.
A standardised system like
Sorry, I got the wrong end of the stick.
British Gas or anything like that, go on like Martin Lewis or compare the market and have a look at heating price on there. There's normally a deal, especially on like Octopus. If you go on Switch, or Bulb is really good as well for things like that. Just a bit of advice for people.
It's like a money saver
if they're struggling.
I like it. Coupons.
Now on to St Peter Bottomley.
Oh, well, that's absolutely. That is. It's the worst of my day. And I ran over 3 children on the way for work.
St Peter Bottomley is the oldest MP in Parliament. He's 81 years old. He's a Tory MP. Today he came out and said...
you told me about this earlier? Or did you tell me about this earlier?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, Dad told me about this earlier.
He's came out today and said £81,000 a year just isn't enough for MPs to live on safely.
Not quite. Close.
He believes.
I reckon he'd be fine on 250 though. To be fair, so just
he said that they should earn at least what GPs earn on £100,000 a year.
Oh, because it's really equivalent, isn't it?
Yeah.
And GPs are famously underworked as well.
He said that he himself isn't struggling, but he feels for his younger and newer colleagues because they can't live off £81,000 a year. Bearing in mind, I live off a student loan.
Why does he think younger people are struggling as well?
Oh, because they've made sure that younger people struggle.
That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying to you. There must be some fundamental reason he believes younger people struggle on that much money, but he's in a position of...
Is that he asked for a £19,000 pay rise, which is, for a lot of people who do the universal credit's been cut for, is sometimes more than double what they earn in a year.
Yep.
And he's asked that in just a pay rise.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it can make a massive amount of difference to a lot of people's lives. Yeah,
it was brilliant. It was really smart.
A lot of people, and probably in our town that we're in at the moment, would beg to get £19,000 a year.
Yeah.
As a wage, not as an increase, just as a wage. Yeah.
Like a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm not even joking. In our hometown, the amount of people who would love to have that.
I reckon like 60%, 70%.
Yeah.
Now, these 3 topics come a bit hand in hand because next is the...
actually, probably even has like a split wage between 2 people to have that.
Yeah. Next is the rise in national insurance. 2.5% rise. And that was quite funny because they said that they're going to give a 1% pay rise to nurses. And then they gave a 2.5% rise to national insurance and then cut the universal credit. So they've actually paid for their own pay rise, which is quite fantastic. So national insurance has gone up by 2.5%. It was a flat rate. No one really understands why.
I reckon they just they had a dartboard with just different... Right. To decide the percentage. Do you know what I mean? And they were like, oh...
he could have gone for treble 20,
and
Boris.
Then they got Boris through it, and he hit 0.1, and they went, don't count. Try again, Boris. That's the free.
Second time hit the telly.
It wasn't a stepped rise like tax. It was just 2.5% across the board, which is brilliant. I mean, unless you earn over £12,550, you don't really pay national insurance anyway. But there you go. Raab's misogyny. It's Raab's good week. Yesterday, he said,
it's such a good quote. I love it.
He said that
it was this morning, wasn't it?
It was. This morning. He said that misogyny is it's men against women. It's women against men. Hang on, rewind. It's who against who?
I wrote it down. Yeah, he wrote. We don't accept misogyny, whether it be by a man to a woman or a woman to a man.
Yeah.
There's something not quite right about that.
Yeah. And my final point was about the Met Police this week. In light of all the Sarah Everard case and the man finally getting, the dirty little scumbag getting sentenced to a full life sentence, which means he'll spend the rest of his life in prison.
It's weird to me that life sentences aren't a full life sentence.
It's 25 years, isn't it?
That's really strange. But carry
on. They've said that if you feel uncomfortable with a police officer and you feel like you're in danger, you should run away. That's right, the Met Police have said you should run away from the police. And do you know what they said after?
I do, yeah.
I don't.
They said you run away from the police and then you call the police.
Yeah. One of them said flag down a bus.
Did you see that? Sorry, I didn't know.
He said if you ever think that you're being arrested unjustly or a single man or whatever, you should flag down your nearest bus. How many buses do we see through our town
Yeah.
on a regular occurrence?
That I can flag down as well. Like,
yeah. So there you go.
you can't believe these people are actually running this country, can you? You actually can't believe
It's
it.
fantastic, isn't it? It almost makes you want to move, but
So I would
you
argue-
can't because
Surely, my mate gets home
right
and he goes,
today.
right, I've got this idea, run over police officers, flag down a bus, and his partner goes, really? Are you sure? Or she going, oh, brilliant idea, Boris, that's real good, real good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
So yeah, the women
Actually, no, that wasn't Boris. It was the head of the
it was
ministry.
head of-
Even
That's run by, you guessed it, Preeti Patel, the Home Secretary.
Preeti Patel really must hate herself. She hates women passionately, and every time she speaks, she hates foreigners with a passion.
Yeah.
What is wrong with that woman?
Yeah, no, she's not having a good day.
It's some sort of public, powerful self-loathing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
Does anyone want to guess? I'll give you 5 seconds.
Danny Mag.
Ooh, I'll give you half a point for the surname.
Is Danny something with it?
Yeah.
No, it's just run away from the
I've got one
police.
more.
Oh, sorry, we're back.
I've got one
The video is back.
I've got 2 more.
If you've made it this
Because
far,
people have
Have you
just
got
been
3
watching
more?
a black screen or whatever I've edited on it. I
I
might just
UK
put some-
wholesale of gas hit all-time high, right?
A what?
An all-time high. No, the price, sorry, of gas.
Oh yeah, I didn't hear
Right.
you. That's what, yeah.
And then it fell because Russia has stepped in to help us.
That's nice.
That's really nice. And queues for passports control at the moment are 4 hours long. Quite interesting. That's what's quite
Wow.
interesting.
I'm going abroad next week, so
going home
that's
4
gonna
hour
be
long queues.
fantastic.
Yeah.
But they're really bad. Chris said they were really bad. Didn't he? He went to Spain. He said they're terrible.
And I got one other point. I've mentioned it briefly, but I sort of I'm wondering if we've got
Can I
time.
just I show my maroon one?
Louis.
I was wondering if we
Louis.
we've got not got time.
Not Kylie Minogue.
No, Kylie Minogue. Next. Not next episode. Next episode's my episode. The episode after next. Episode 50.
No, as well.
Episode 50.
Oh no! Yes, go.
Episode 59 is going to be a Kylie Minogue extravaganza. It's going to be 4 hours long.
We've got an impersonator coming in. You can't literally say what we're gonna do.
And we're going to sing all our great hits.
Right,
Come on,
beer.
baby.
Do
What are you drinking?
locomotion. What am I drinking?
This is called
Louis.
Ah.
Louis.
It's called a sateen.
Louis.
A DDH pale ale.
Oh,
What's a DDH pale ale?
DDH.
Huh?
It would be where the hops
Double
are
dry
from.
hopped.
Double dry hopped.
Double dry hopped pale ale. I'm
Does it
glad
say
you
it on
didn't
the
ask
back?
last episode because I didn't know what the letters meant on the last one.
Yeah.
No, I actually do know what this means. It does say on the back, but I did know what this one meant.
Juicy and piney, 4.3% by Salt Brewery.
We've had quite a lot of double dry hops, so.
And I really liked it. I really liked it.
Yeah, it's lovely, mate.
Pale oats and wheat. I don't really taste that, but I thought it was really, really nice.
Again,
So
it's got
just
mosaic hops in it, which the
Yeah.
last one had, but then it's got
Mosaic's
Chinook,
no good.
Cascade, and Centennial. That's
Sort
sort
of.
of 4 hops.
It says sort of marmalade. I think it sort of was. It says from Saltaire, and I think that Saltaire. I mentioned before we started. I think Saltaire is a place in which they were in a factory, and then the owner of the factory built a town around the factory, so all the workers would live there. It's up north somewhere, and I'm sure that they implemented loads of really weird rules there. So
Are
like,
you sure this isn't Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Nah, and they implemented loads of weird rules that like you couldn't like be too loud after 8 PM in the village and stuff like that. So then like you'd be able to work better the next day and stuff like that. Implemented loads of weird
Wonderfully
rules.
capitalistic.
Yeah, an entire town
Yeah.
literally just focused on
Yeah,
the workings of that.
yeah.
It is
And
like
there's-
that Jack Reacher book.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and there was like one pub, and it was like the pub was in the factory, so you could go there with your families and stuff, but like it was in the factory.
Hope and
Stash.
Despair one. It's called Hope and Despair?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. But yeah.
So yeah,
I'm drinking Salty Kiss, Gooseberry Goose, by Magic Rock Brewing. Tastes like gooseberry. It said lightly sour, fruity and refreshing. It's 4.1%. There isn't a description on it, but it was quite nice actually.
me and Happy had this.
We've
beer
had this before and we thought it was
It was our first
I
goze.
thought it was quite nice.
It is goze, isn't it?
Yeah, gooseberry
Yeah,
goes.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the first goze I've ever had,
not a fan.
and I
It was alright. I'd give it like 2.5.
I think we
thought,
gave it like 1.25.
yeah, I thought
Yeah,
first goze I had when I put that in my mouth first.
We don't really
time-
like Gozos though.
No, I don't like it.
Nah, I'd
We had
like a
one
bit
called
of.
Goze to Hollywood as well.
Oh yeah.
That was
yeah.
actually
I think that
mental.
was the first one we had.
That was the
wasn't
first one we had. That was actually mental.
Yeah, I'd like a sour aftertaste. It was quite nice.
Goze to Hollywood tastes like salt water.
Mm.
it? Yeah, it was grim.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Next episode we have an episode about
It's yours.
Yeah.
Law 2.
Children being brutally slaughtered by the government.
Yeah, it's really nice. Really uplifting, I felt.
Really
Really
uplifting. We've already done
really
it, to clarify. We had to take a day break, didn't we? Because you were just distraught.
He spent it praying.
Yeah. Bring him back.
Really upset.
He wasn't. He didn't give a
Anyway, yeah, we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Tories are cut.
Thank you for watching this Guzzlr video.
Cut this bit out and put it at the end.